All right, compact handgun test, 9mm versus 38 special. And today what I have is a Hornady critical defense. The 9mm is a 115 grain FTX rated at 1135 feet per second. Our 38 special 110 grain FTX rated at 1090 feet per second. I believe those ratings are both out of 4-inch barrels. Now this Ruger Security 9 is a 4-inch barrel. Our 38 is our Taurus 856 3-inch barrel, and why I'm using that is, you know, the bullet travel in those guns and the overall size and weight of these guns is nearly identical. So I don't know what I'm going to get for velocity in a 3-inch barrel, but it'll be really interesting to see because this is, you know, compact guns. These are guns that are, you know, bigger than subcompact, smaller than full size. So we're going to go through the chronograph, see what kind of velocity and accuracy we get at the same time, and then I'm going to do my 10% clear ballistic test. 4 layers of denim followed by 3 inches of clear ballistics to represent hitting a pectoral muscle, followed by a 1/4 inch MDF to represent hitting ribs or sternum, into more clear ballistics. We'll do a shot with the MDF, we'll pull it out. We'll do a shot without the MDF, and then I'm going to shoot from 25 yards at my full-size steel silhouette to see what kind of overall practical accuracy I can get. So let's get started with this test. All right, first up we have our 9mm and the 4-inch Ruger Security 9 here. It's rated at 1135 feet per second. Let's see how close I can get to 1135 feet per second from my 4-inch Ruger Security 9. I'm about 5 yards from the target, 4 yards from the chronograph. Let's see what we get. 1129, 1145, no read, no read. All right, all of a sudden it doesn't want to read. Aim a little bit to the left. 1159, 1144, so definitely got rated velocity. This gun is impacting quite a bit to the right for me for some reason. I don't really know why. Shot fine last time I fired it. Let's see how our 38 special compares. All right, 38 special and our Taurus 856. If you saw my unboxing video, you know, you saw I had some issues with this impacting high. I pretty much fixed the issues with some of the rotation issues I had, and I put on the original sight. So it may still impact high, but I'm really curious if a lighter bullet will make any difference of how the accuracy is. So rated at 1090 feet per second. See what we get. 1027, 1015, 1061, 1054, 1022. Now that first shot was actually me. When I got that trigger back to right where it's about to lock up, I felt the trigger get grit in it and snap it up. But the rest of those shots were fine, and definitely a better point of impact than what we were seeing when I unboxed this thing. So let's hit our Ballistics gel block, see what we get with these rounds, because this velocity in this isn't too bad. All right, I don't think I tested this round in the 4-inch barrel before in gel. So we're gonna go through our 4 layers of denim, 3 inches clear ballistics, 1/4 inch MDF, and the more clear ballistics with our 9mm. Let's see how it does. All right. All right, so through our MDF, we definitely see what indicates expansion in that first 3 inches there. So that's pretty good. And that's typical for a kind of a soft bullet. But what we're looking at is our overall penetration is at about 13¼ inches, and it looks like there's expansion. So it's doing pretty good in that 4-inch barrel. Let's take this MDF out, because without this, it represents like a gut shot. With this, it represents like a ribs or sternum hit. So let's see how it does in our quote-unquote gut shot. All right, no MDF, just our gut shot. Let's see how our 9mm does this way. All right. Now what we're seeing there is definitely some consistent performance. You know, 13¼ with the MDF. Without it, we're looking at about 13 and 13.5 in this angle. So pretty consistent whether you have MDF in there, which would represent ribs or sternum, or without it. So let's see how our 38 special does. All right, 38 special through our MDF. Let's see how this one will do. All right. All right, so here is our MDF hits, and I'm not even really sure which one's which. So it's safe to say they did pretty similarly through that MDF. And what we're getting is just a little bit less penetration. There's actually almost a tad more damage rate in there for some reason. And we're at about 12¼ inches. And if I look at this measurement before, I said 13¼ it looks more like 13 even. So 12¼ for the 38 through the MDF, 13 even for the 9mm through the MDF. And our 9mm through plain gel was about 13¼ So let's see how our 38 does and our quote-unquote gut shot. All right, 38 special gut shot. Let's see how it does. All right. All right, so we're seeing the same penetration as the MDF. I mean, you might not see it on camera, but I can see kind of fine details here. And we're right at about 12. So 12¼ for our MDF, 12 even through just our plain gel shot. And there's a little bit of expansion there. So overall, both these calibers did quite well. No complaints. Let's shoot from that 25 yards. Let's see what kind of practical accuracy we can get. All right, 25 yards from our steel silhouette there. See how our 9mm does. Failure to eject. Interesting. It is impacting a little bit to the right. I think that's just the way my sights are. They do seem to be drifted for some reason. They may be loose. So definitely I need to adjust my sights, but wow, that is a heck of a group for fast firing at that distance. I mean, they are point of aim and impact because our elevation was dead on. So I'm shooting barehanded even though it's quite cold out, because I think some of the pulling problems I had on my chronograph session there was my gloves getting stuck in this, because it is a pretty small trigger guard here. It's not small, but all revolvers are kind of small. So let's see if our 110 grain makes any difference versus my last test with 158 grain. We're gonna go center mass with this, and I got a different sight, so we'll see if that helps. All right, I wasn't really watching where those were hitting because I can't see it hit that snow. And this trigger pull is still really heavy compared to any other revolver I have. So I'll admit that I don't have the skill it takes to properly shoot this yet until that trigger breaks in. So I'm gonna go single action, see if that helps. I'm gonna aim really low again. So what we're seeing there is these are actually shooting, it's the opposite problem of the 9mm. These are shooting significantly to the left. My point of aim on the ones that I just hit was on the 9mm group there. So that's the main problem there. So let me try double action. I aim on that 9mm group way to the right. So I know they hit, you know, it's okay. And I'm having a hard time with this gun. So I'm not reviewing the gun, and that's one thing I want to point out. But before I review the ammo, I want to say this gun, I don't know what the deal is. The two ammos I've tried, I can't really get it to narrow down to what's going to be accurate for me. But the ammunition out of a 3-inch barrel. We had excellent velocity. We were over 1,000 feet per second, which over 1,000 feet per second is really good, because if I recall correctly, in the 2-inch barrel, both my J-frame and the Taurus 605, we were getting right about 900 to 930 in that range. So that extra inch, even in 38 plus P, is adding 100 feet per second to the equation. And that's a big deal, because an extra inch isn't much of a gun, you know. When I take out my carry gun, the LCR here, I can actually put this in here, almost cover the trigger guard, not quite, throw it in my pocket the way I would any other snub nose, and it pocket carries. So enough with the gun. The ammo though, ammo did excellent. I would say that is definitely a good go-to ammo, and I've had that opinion for years. I've actually done videos where I said, what's the best 38 ammo? And I thought it was critical defense, and I mentioned it was critical defense, and I took that back and said, well, maybe there's some better stuff. But I always come back to critical defense, because critical defense, it's one of those things where you think, does it really do that good or does it not? Maybe it doesn't. And then you test all this garbage out there, and then you come back to it, it's still performing well. So it is one of the better ammos. So that's what you get today. So as always, comment, share, and like, and thanks for watching.